Okay, so today we're doing something a little different. We're taking a guide that was originally written for, security experts and private investigators, and we're going to pull out its universal lessons. The idea here is to turn a blueprint for investigative reports into a masterclass that can teach pretty much anyone how to write with way more power, clarity, and credibility, no matter what you do for a living.
Think about it. We pour so many hours into our work, right? The research, the analysis, all those late nights. But what if all that incredible effort could just fall apart because of a few poorly written pages at the very end? That's the high-stakes reality we're jumping into today.
Which really brings us to a huge question. I mean, can a perfect investigation, a flawless project, actually fail? And the answer, maybe surprisingly, is yes, absolutely. And the reason why is probably not what you'd expect. It's because the final report, that document, that email, that slide deck, is often the only thing your client or your boss actually sees. They don't see the hard work, the dead ends, the late nights. All they have is that piece of paper. And if that report is confusing or seems biased, well, in their eyes, the whole thing was a failure. All that work, gone. So how do you stop that from happening? Well, you can start by following this one really powerful principle. It's called the 10-year rule. And it's simple. Write your report as if a total stranger, say a juror or a new CEO or an auditor, is going to read it 10 years from now. You're not going to be there to explain anything. You can't clarify a confusing sentence. It has to stand completely 100% on its own. That's the ultimate test. Okay, so how do we actually build a report that can stand up to that kind of pressure? We need a system, right? A blueprint, a way to bake that clarity and logic right into the document from the very first word. And luckily for us, there's a proven blueprint we can follow.
And this is it. This is the standard structure. It's a simple 6-part system, and it's designed for one thing: total clarity. You start with the basic admin data, then you hit them with the most important part, the executive summary, right up front. After that, you logically build your case. Here's what we did, here's what we found, here's the conclusion, and finally, here's all the proof in the back. See, it's not just a format, it's a strategy. It's designed to be persuasive. Now, listen up, because of all those sections, one of them is by far the most critical, and that's the executive summary. Why? Simple. The busiest people, the CEO, the general counsel, your boss's boss, they might only read this one page. That's it. This is your one and only shot to get your entire point across. You have to work under the assumption that you have 1 minute of their time. 60 seconds. That's all you get. So the challenge is this. Can you tell them everything they need to know, your objective, your process, your findings, your conclusion, in a way that they can fully grasp in just 1 minute? It's tough, but it's the whole game.
But here's the good news. There's a formula for it. It's just 4 paragraphs. That's all you need. Paragraph 1 is the why. Why were we even hired? Paragraph 2 is the how. What did we do? Paragraph 3 is the what. What did we find? And the last one, paragraph 4, is the so what. What's the status now? Why, how, what, and so what. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful framework to nail that 1-minute read. All right, so we've got the structure down. Now let's zoom in a bit and talk about the words themselves. This is where we need to shift our mindset. We're not just writing for a friendly colleague anymore. We're writing for that skeptical juror from the 10-year rule. And the first big rule is about active versus passive voice. This is so important. Look at the left. The subject was observed by Investigator Smith. It's kind of weak, right? A little indirect. Now look at the right. Investigator Smith observed the subject. Bam! It's stronger, it's clearer, it takes responsibility. Active voice is always more direct, and it just sounds way more confident. Okay, besides using the active voice, here are 3 more quick rules for professional writing. First, always use the third person. Instead of I saw, write this investigator saw. It just sounds more objective. Second, tell the story in chronological order. Seriously, don't jump around. It's the fastest way to lose your reader. And third, if you talk about a piece of evidence, tell them exactly where to find it right then and there. Like, as you can see in Exhibit A. Make it easy for them. All right, we're about to get to what might be the single most important point of this entire explainer. This is the #1 reason reports get torn apart, whether it's in a courtroom or a boardroom. This is the absolute heart of writing with credibility. This slide says it all. Look at the left. It says, the subject was drunk. That's an opinion. It's a conclusion. You can argue with that. But now look at the right. The subject's breath smelled of alcohol. He stumbled while walking. See the difference? Those are facts. Those are objective observations. They are undeniable.
You're not telling the reader the conclusion, you're showing them the evidence that lets them reach that conclusion on their own.
So think of yourself as a court reporter, not a judge. Your only job is to report the facts. You present what you saw, what you heard, what you found, and that's it. You let the reader, whether it's a judge, a jury, or your boss, be the one to form the opinion. That is how you build a case that is absolutely bulletproof.
So, you've done it. You've built your report, the structure is solid, the language is objective. But before you hit that send button, there is one last quality control check you have to run it through. It's a simple little acronym to make sure everything is perfect. You just have to ask yourself, is my report C.L.E.A.R? C is for concise. Did you cut out all the fluff? L is for legible. Does it look professional and is it easy to read? E is for accurate. Are the names spelled right? Are the dates correct? You have to triple check this stuff because one wrong date can sink the whole thing. A is for audible. This is a great trick. Read it out loud. If it sounds clunky or weird, you need to rewrite it. And finally, R for relevant. Is every single thing in this report essential to the main point? If not, cut it. So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? It's that your credibility, it doesn't just come from how good your work is. It comes from how well you communicate that work. It's all built on a foundation of clear structure, objective language, and just solid professional standards. And that brings me to a final question for you to think about. In your own work, your emails, your reports, your presentations, where are you accidentally writing a final judgment instead of just stating the facts? Where are you making up the reader's mind for them instead of just letting the evidence speak for itself? Because mastering that one little distinction, that's the real secret to becoming a truly powerful and persuasive communicator.